This episode is all about filling out your application properly. What are the 3 most important parts of an application? What is the biggest mistake people make in their applications? And what are the best ways to be competitive in your application?
I like to be educated, but I'm so frustrated. Hello to my loneliness. I guess that ignorance is bliss.
Hi, I'm Hayley, and I don't know much about property management. Luckily, each month I get to sit down and learn with Elizabeth, owner of Parkstone property in Mackay, Queensland. We tackle topics relevant to renters, investors, landlords and property managers, providing education, tips and tricks, and hopefully breaking down some stigmas along the way.
I wish I knew.
Hi, how's it going?
Yeah, good.
Good. It's been a little while.
It has.
I've been going through all our old episodes, and I was all pregnant in those ones, and I'm not anymore.
Not anymore.
And that's really exciting for me. To start us off, do we want to do our milkshake cup?
Okay.
Milkshake cup of dreams. I'm not sure whose turn it is, but I'm going to take the turn.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely. With a flair. So, oh dear. Would you rather be famous for something embarrassing or completely unknown but having done something amazing?
Oh, that's a very good question. My youngest likes to ask me questions like this all the time.
That's such a kid thing, isn't
It
it?
is, yeah. I am a very private person.
Yep.
So anonymity is huge for me.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably go with the latter.
Yeah, I feel like I'm on the same page with that.
I look at... I'm not a huge tracker of celebrities and things like that.
Yep.
It kind of does my head in a little bit. But to be known for something that's embarrassing, that follows you for the rest of your life. And it's like you are painted with that forever.
Yeah.
And with the way the internet is now, nothing is forgotten. It's always there. So if somebody Googles your name, it's always going to come up.
Yep.
Whereas if people don't know you, but you've done something amazing, the fact that there's something amazing is out there for other people to
That's your
thrive
legacy.
off. It is.
And the people who know you closely know.
Yeah.
I think that's all that
I think
matters.
I think it's a flex, actually.
Yeah.
To be able to do some amazing
Quietly,
things that nobody knows.
That's right. I think the
Yeah.
only person who would answer the embarrassing but famous thing are just people who really kind of want their face out there sort of thing, and who really value like attention and publicity.
I think it comes down to
there
different
must be people out
personality
there.
types, right?
Yeah.
So people that fill their bucket from attention or being
True.
out with their friends and socialising.
Yep.
I'm the opposite. That really sucks my social battery dry.
I'm the same.
I need to recharge and be private
Yeah.
on my own.
Yeah. No, I think I'm with you on that one for sure. Yeah. So our first question of this episode, what are the 3 most important parts of an application?
Okay. So one thing we have noticed with applications is lack of information. So it's being really thorough with your application. So the 3 things we look at are the documents that you provide with the application, making sure there's front and back of your driver's license, pay slips, any other form of income that you receive, confirmation of that in writing. So that's one part, your ID. Second part is the information you put in that application.
Right.
So how many animals, making sure you correctly put down how many animals you've got. Because if you've got 3 dogs, but both of you put down 3 dogs on your applications, you end up with 6
dogs.
And then it's like, whoa, slow down, bit of a red flag. I'm going to ring you and ask you about that.
Right.
Because there's permits and things that are involved with any more than 3 dogs, 3 and up. But it asks the question. It makes us ask the question. So it's definitely making sure the information is correct that you're providing. So even things like your employment reference, a big one. We need to make sure we've got that, because we can't ask for that anymore with the changes in legislation last May.
I see.
So if you don't provide it, we can't check it, which
Yep.
means we can't check how you're going to pay for the property week by week.
Right. So that's something that you sort of have to volunteer that information,
Yes.
your employment
Yes.
thing. So there's not a prompt on there that says please provide
Well,
that? Or?
it allows you to put in references, but because
Right.
everybody is still educated under the old school method of references might be personal references, which are great, but they're your friends. They're always going to say that you're wonderful and you're not dirty and you pay everything on time, when really they probably don't know unless they've lived with you.
Yeah.
But still, they're your friend. They're going to give you a glowing reference.
Right.
So it's more important about putting your employment reference in the references, not necessarily in the section that might ask for your employment details.
Right.
Logically, that's where you'd put it.
Yes.
But unfortunately, with the changes of legislation now, the systems information from your profiles don't come across the same as they used to.
Yep.
So we recommend you put it in that reference section.
Yep.
And the last one is about your addresses. So on your profile, you can put down your current address. Then you can also put down other addresses where you've lived.
Yep.
Please make sure that they all kind of line up and there's a timeline.
So there's no gaps
There's
where
no
you were
gaps.
supposedly homeless.
Or, yeah, so for example, I looked at one just recently. The current address is not mentioned in the living addresses.
Yep.
And the license address is not mentioned at all.
Interesting.
In the document, like in the documents or
right.
in the information provided.
Okay.
So now I look at it and go, well,
Where do you live?
what's the go here?
Yeah.
It's not all matching up.
Yeah.
So I have to ask the question, which unfortunately not all property managers have got the time to chase up
No,
that
and
information.
they just won't bother, probably.
And then it'll just be unsuccessful.
Yep.
More information required, or just straight out unsuccessful. In the market that we have at the moment, it is very, very tough. So it's really, really important to make sure all that information is in the application
Yep.
rather than us asking, because sometimes, and this may seem very silly, but we look at that of, you've got an application, you're putting it forward, this is you saying this is all of our information.
Yeah.
And if it's only half there, what are you going to be like in your tenancy?
Yeah. And it always comes back to that, hey, it's sort of that reflection on
Yeah.
who you are as a tenant, who
That's-
you're going to be.
That's right. So
Yeah.
if there's everything there, we look at that and go, awesome, these guys are prepared. They know what they're doing. So then they're going, that will carry through their tenancy in theory. Because if we have to chase for certain things, we want to help everyone, but that's very time consuming.
Yep.
And so then if you're putting in applications on 10 or 15 different properties and you get 10 or 15 knockbacks,
Yep.
it's probably not necessarily the property, or it's something's wrong with your application perhaps. So it's knowing what you're putting in there and being thorough with that.
Right. So if we're going to go our 3 important parts, we're going to say our volunteering that employment reference,
Yes.
even if they don't ask for it.
Yep.
That's a really important
Yeah.
thing. Making sure you're detail oriented, making sure all the things line up, and making your agent's job easier.
Yeah.
Pretty much. What was your third one? I've
The
completely
third
forgotten.
one was the addresses.
Yes, making sure addresses are actually like syncing up between all
Yeah.
of your IDs and stuff.
Yeah. And if there are
Fantastic.
gaps,
Yeah.
tell us.
Talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have
yeah.
the conversation with us.
Fantastic. I've got another question then for you. So, what is the biggest mistake people make when in their applications?
Lack of information.
Yep.
For one, or it's not communicating with each other, or it's not updating your profile from 18 months ago when you last were looking for a rental property.
Like your online sort of
So
apply profile.
So
Yep.
with the online platforms
Yep.
where you can apply, so for example Ignite, which is part of realestate.com,
Yep.
or To Apply, which is a separate one again.
I've used that one.
You
Yep.
can you set up your own profile,
Yep.
which is, there's a little section for a bio which says, this is me, I like to do this,
Yep.
my dogs are blah, 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 and they love
Cute.
just lazing around. It gives a little insight into who you are or what you're looking for or what
Right.
you do in your downtime.
Yep.
It's similar to like a dating profile, but without those other little bits in there. But it explains to us who you are
Yeah.
a little bit. But make sure you update that. Update any information. So previous employment, if you're no longer with that employer and you're doing something else, make sure you update that and
Yep.
update the pay slips. Because if you go back into it and just apply for something, it'll give all the same old data and it's not the new data.
Yeah.
So making sure you're thorough with looking through that. So it's, again, detail orientated.
Right, yeah.
as
So
well.
that big mistake is being lazy, I
Yeah.
suppose, or just being a bit not thoughtful.
It's not taking the
And
time to
fast,
make
yeah.
sure that information's correct again, especially if you've had a couple of job changes or if you've relocated to that area, but it says in your bio, we are relocating to the area. It's like, you've already been here. Your data's telling me you've
Yeah.
been here for 18 months, so
Yeah.
this is not right. So then again, we look at that and go, you haven't really taken the time. How serious are you about this property or finding another house?
Yep.
It does impact how your application looks.
Yep.
if you don't take extra time, because there will be people out there that do,
Yep.
and they're the ones that are thorough, everything's in it, and literally I can send off the references again and they come back within 24, 48 hours, and then we're putting that application to the owner.
Yeah.
So rather than us, we don't mind chasing or calling, it's a good way to connect, but at
Yep.
the same time, it's more days that application is not being processed.
Yeah, yeah, it just sort of wastes time.
Yeah.
I think from like a psychological perspective as well, I think we want to think that it's all based on fact and it's based on what you write down, and they'll take that in very logically and you know, weigh it up against other people. But at the end of the day, we're people applying for properties from other people.
Yeah.
And so there is always going to be that essence of like, does this person give off a good energy and a good vibe sort of thing? And I know, I mean, I'm not an agent myself, but I know I would, if I was, I would try to be as unbiased as possible and try to not rely on that. But that's not how the brain works either.
No.
The brain will make judgments and it will
Yeah.
pick up on things that you don't think through. So I think it's just trying to keep that in mind as well, and just try to put your best foot forward
Yeah.
to reflect well, as much as it's like, well, I shouldn't have to do
Yeah.
that. You know, it should just be on
Yeah.
paper. It's like,
But
we're
at the end-
humans, we're human beings,
We are,
you
but
know.
at the end of the day, you're applying to live in somebody's house and pay essentially like their mortgage off,
Yep.
which is a massive financial risk
Yeah.
for the owner of the property. They're not going to put just anybody in there, and
That's
that's where
right.
it comes down to us as agents to make sure we match houses with the right people, taking into consideration neighbourhoods, also taking into consideration our workloads. So
Yeah.
we don't want to put somebody into a property that's going to cause us more work.
Yeah.
So at the very beginning, your best foot forward right at the beginning with that application. Sometimes even ringing up the agent and talking to that property manager, which is not also always possible because they're busy and out on the road.
Yeah.
But having a chat can help you stand out. But it's really important you're putting your best foot forward right at the beginning.
Yep.
And we then form judgments or on the data that you provide us. So if it's old and wrong,
Yep.
we look at that and go, well, they're not prepared.
Exactly. Yeah.
But then I might call you and say, hey, your application's not correct. Can you withdraw it, update your profile and do it again? Because sometimes people don't know.
Yeah.
But that's what the point of these podcasts are, is
Yep.
to help people and educate
That's right.
them.
Yeah. Because life does get in the way.
Yeah,
We just
it
got to
does.
remember. Cool. I got one more thing for you. So what are the best ways to be competitive in your application?
Definitely having all the information.
Yep.
And all current information in
Yep.
your application. As I said just before, maybe even ringing the agent
Mm-hmm.
or the property manager who's advertised on that listing. Have
Yeah.
a chat to them about the house. It may not be the right house for you or
Yep.
unit for you for your circumstances. For example, you might have a baby
Mm-hmm.
and you want to live in a townhouse. Might be good for you for the first 10 months of that baby's life, but then that baby's going to get mobile.
Yes,
and then
they
you're going to have to
grow.
put up, yeah, they do. And then you're going to have to put up gates to,
Yep.
to prevent them from hurting themselves
Yes,
with
and then the
stairs.
stairs.
And then you may be looking for something on one level after 12 months because you need that extra space.
That's right.
So then is it the right property for now? Maybe not. Maybe look at something that is one level. So then
Yep.
you have longevity at that property
Yep.
rather than having to move again in 12. So we look at that on a bigger picture as well.
Yep.
But all applications we process are put to the owner and then the owner fully decides. Other ways to be competitive.
Like, is there any other extra kind of information you can offer that a lot of people don't? That if you saw that, you'd be like, oh, that's a good... I mean, obviously that employer reference.
Employer reference, definitely. Even if you have animals, adding photos of the animals and a little bio about the animals. There are questions about, is it microchipped, is it desexed, do you have a regular vet, those kind of things, which
Yep.
again we've talked about before about responsible pet ownership.
Yeah, in our pets episode, that's right.
But sometimes having those photos of the animals, then we know as a reference when we go to the property that those are the animals that you applied with, and oh yes, they're so cute, but we
Yep.
also send them to the owner.
Yep.
And then the owner can build relationship. It evokes that human emotion of connection with somebody if they're a dog lover or a cat lover or love exotic birds or something like that.
Yep.
It just helps show the owner that your intent for the property
Yep.
and that you are organised. And I
Amazing.
think the main thing though to be competitive is just have all the information correct.
Yeah.
Because it does
Yeah.
stand out.
That's important. Fantastic. Well, that's what I've learned today. Be thorough, think things through, put the effort in, remember that you're talking to another human being, you know, and just give them all you got and, yeah, put your best foot forward.
Yep.
Great. Thanks, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
See you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.